University of Iowa 2005 Capital One Bowl pregame show right here on Mediacom. Jon Miller, this is BJ Shaven, and John, you know, there's been one family that's kind of been synonymous with Hawkeye football over the last decade, hasn't there been?
I think 11 of the last 13 years there has been a gallery wearing the black and gold in some way, shape, or form, and it'll happen again next year as well.
It certainly will. In fact, joining us now is Nick Gallery, a former punter for the Iowa Hawkeyes. How are you doing today?
Good, very good, thanks.
Well, let's talk about, what about the Gallery family in Iowa football? What's made it been such a strong tie?
It's really been a great experience for us. You know, my brothers have come along and had success as well. You know, I've had a great time, met a lot of great people, you know, had a lot of fun over the years, and it's really been a great situation. Folks love it. They go to all the games, and yeah, it's really been fun for us.
They've got to be a little road weary after all these years and all these stadiums, aren't they?
It's amazing. They, you know, the countless number of games, the trips. I mean, you know, they've gone to see Robert play this season, you know, 10, 12 times, so they're always on the move.
I got to ask you, hairstyle changes between you and your brothers. What's going on with this?
It's necessity. I'm starting to lose mine. Robert's turning into a caveman, so I can't keep up with that.
Well, you guys are pretty modest. You guys have had a lot to do with Hawkeye football, and what it means to be a Hawkeye and to play in a bowl game like we're about ready to see a little bit later on today.
It's great. You know, the fans are crazy. There's, you know, 40, 50, 60,000 people, whatever it is. I mean, they have fun. You know, they're great people. You know, we've had a great experience, and I'm just fortunate to, you know, have my brothers, you know, follow along and, you know, really enjoy some of the things I've seen as well. So it's really cool.
You have a really unique perspective. You played in bowl games for Iowa. Now you get to watch it as a fan with not just one but two brothers. What's more enjoyable for you, actually being a part of it or sitting here in the easy chair and watching it?
I think sitting and watching. You know, it's more fun and you know, watching them have success and you know, and enjoying some of the same things I did. So it's really kind of a cool bond between us, and you know, we've been really, you know, really cool. You know?
Well, Nick, let's bring everybody up to date. You kicked for the Jets for a while. What are you doing now?
I work for a photographer. His name's Bruce Weber. We do fashion photo shoots, do production for him, kind of set things up and, you know, take care of that. We travel around the U.S. quite a bit and do that.
Well, do you get a chance to keep up with everybody then back with East Buchanan football and everything like that?
I try to as much as I can. You know, we travel a lot and then we get a lot of time off, so I'm able to travel and, you know, see things otherwise as well, so it's nice.
I know the Iowa fans are excited about next year where, you know, you just can't have now. You always have to look forward. Give us a scouting report on your younger brother, John, and he'll be punting for Iowa next year.
Yeah, he's got a strong leg. You know, he's been biding his time practicing, so hopefully he gets a shot to play and does well. You know, he had I think he kicked in one of the games, had a couple kicks, and did really well then. So I think he'll do really well if he's given the opportunity. So hopefully that'll happen next year.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun here at the Capital One Bowl. I know what prediction you're going to be lying with, but also what about the future? I mean, you talked about it a little bit, but how jacked are you to know that you helped build a foundation here?
I'm really excited. You know, Coach Ferentz really took over from Hayden Fry, was a legendary coach as well. You know, he's built a program. I know, speaking for a former alumni, you know, we're all really proud of the situation and what he's done for the team and how he's done it. You know, it's really a class act, class program, and really proud to be associated with it.
Well, Nick, thank you so much for joining us here today, and have fun at the Capital One Bowl.
All right, thanks a lot, guys.
All right, that's Nick Gallery joining us here on the Capital One Bowl pregame show. And John, how about the weather conditions here? We're going to be absolutely gorgeous for this game today.
I tell you, hopefully it doesn't get too much warmer because I don't want to see Drew Tate having, you know, problems with being hydrated again this game. So
yeah, it's going to be one of the bigger challenges of the day for Iowa. In fact, there's going to be a slight breeze. Do you think that will affect how the stadium flows as far as for kicking?
You know, I don't think the breeze is going to have any effect. It's pretty nice out here right now, and it won't affect the passing game. The heat, I really do think this heat could come into play because we haven't experienced this for so long.
Now, earlier in the week here in Orlando, it was cold, and the teams really had to practice through that. So is this benefit LSU or Iowa?
Well, you know, LSU, it's obviously a much warmer climate down in, you know, where they play in Baton Rouge, so it may help them. It is a little bit humid today, but it's nothing like it was in Miami 2 years ago. That was ridiculously humid.
It certainly was. And, you know, we brought up kicking just a few moments ago, and one guy who knows a thing or two about it, especially at the University of Iowa, is Brion Hurley, who now joins us. Brion, how are you doing?
Great. Really good. Excellent.
Well, Brion, what are you up to these days?
I've been working in Cedar Rapids the last 5 years, and I just transferred down to a Melbourne facility for Rockwell Collins. That's like an hour from here, so this has worked out perfect.
I think Iowa fans, you think back on kicking history, Iowa's had a rich tradition, but you might not know that you have the most 50-yard field goal conversions in Iowa history, even more than Nate Kading. Did you even know that?
No, I didn't.
Well, you had 5. So, I mean, what's it like going from maybe a 35-yard kick to a 55-yarder? What kind of different things do you have to do?
Well, I think where I had success was I approached it a little bit differently. I think I spent a lot of time working on long field goals, and maybe to my detriment, didn't work as much on my short field goals, and that caused some problems for me. But I did spend a lot of time working on those and just hitting a good, solid kick each time, and I had some success with that.
Now, so many times you hear about kicking woes at other universities and things like that. What's been the difference at the University of Iowa? Because it seems like there's always been a strong line of kickers.
Well, I think one thing is you're seeing in-state kids coming through. I mean, that was kind of a pretty rarity, even when I was growing up, is seeing kids from Iowa being in the program kicking. And so you're seeing Nate Kading, and you're seeing the other kids coming in-state, who are seeing guys in-state growing up and watching them and saying, hey, I can do that. And that kind of foundation is kind of building. So you get in-state guys who are familiar with the Hawkeye tradition, and that's really helped. And Nate's success, people like that.
Well, obviously, we all know about Kading's success, but right now Iowa has another very good kicker in Kyle Schlicht, 20 of 25 as a sophomore. What do you see in his leg? Maybe what do you project for him the next 2 years at Iowa?
Well, I think, he had a great year, especially for his first year, and I think he picked up a lot from Nate. Watching his technique, you can see a lot of similarities when they kick, and he's gained a lot of confidence going out and getting some early success. And he had a pretty big game against Minnesota, and he could be a factor today, definitely.
Well, you think about it, too, how big would it be to actually get a chance to kick on a day like this in January, considering the elements, everything like that, that a kicker goes through at the University of Iowa during the regular season?
Yeah, this is perfect conditions. You really can't ask for anything better. There's no, a little bit of wind, but a perfect day, nice and sunny, and big game.
What was your favorite bowl moment? Or favorite football game at the University of Iowa? Is there one that you pinpoint back to?
Well, actually, the game I had most success was Sun Bowl in '95. We were playing Washington, and we were pretty big underdogs, I think, for that game, and we really used that to our advantage, and really had a really good team performance, and just the whole atmosphere of the bowl was unique.
Well, Brian, we thank you so much for joining us here today, and have fun at the Capital One Bowl.
Great.
Brion Hurley joining us. In fact, we are here in sunny Orlando, Florida. Everybody's having a lot of fun. In fact, there are some people actually going out and getting their faces painted. We'll have more of the official University of Iowa pregame show coming up next.